This morning I saw that J Cards posted a new video and I had no idea, like I didn't really keep up with what was going on behind the scenes with the grandson, but basically it was just titled Warren's grandson speaks out about Matt Rife and Elton's purchase of their grandparents' home, essentially Ed and Lorraine Warren's museum and their home, etc. And so I would not have known this if it were not for J Cart, so I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. A family legacy. I've kept quiet as long as I could, maybe longer than I should have. Over the years, I've become increasingly estranged from my family due to deep differences in how we view and preserve the legacy of my grandparents, Ed and Lorraine Warren. At the heart of that distance is a sincere disagreement over how sacred this work truly is and how it should be handled with reverence, not publicity. So it seems like he's disagreeing with it being like this public museum now. It had been closed for about 6 years or so, give or take. But I do have to kind of agree with what Jay Kurtz was mentioning and saying in the video, where he kind of says like, Ed and Lorraine Warren were already doing this publicly. It was a publicity stunt. They were always in the public eye, TV shows, talk shows, all these things, news articles. They were always in the public. So why would things change now? You know, if you're trying to preserve the legacy of your grandparents and things like that, then why would you not keep doing what they were already doing? They seem to really enjoy the spotlight and always be in the news. Notoriously, they were kind of known for being that paranormal couple. If you had some type of demonic entity, possession, things like that, you were scared for your safety, you would submit a request with them and they would kind of help you, things like that. So it was never like private, you know? And then to continue what he was saying, most recently I voiced my concern about Annabelle being taken on tour, and now I'm watching the only real home I've ever known, the one place in the world that felt unquestionably like home, be turned into a tourist attraction. Let me be clear, I have nothing against Matt Rife. I didn't know who he was until a few days ago. I believe his intentions are good and I don't hold him responsible for the decisions that led to this moment. So with him saying that, so does he have issues and disagreements with Elton since he only mentioned Matt? Like Matt has kind of technically been in the paranormal field for quite a few years. If I remember correctly, Matt and Elton would do all these investigations, or they were together on YouTube. Yeah, anyways, yeah, but it's very odd. Why does he only mention Matt? Like there is Elton as well. They co-signed this, you know? But for me, this is deeply personal. My grandparents weren't just paranormal investigators. They were my anchors. I remember riding my bike to their house as a kid. I remember my grandmother making me toasted tomato and cheese on rye. I remember holidays spent there, the quiet wisdom they shared, and the unshakable sense of duty they felt to protect people from what they couldn't see or understand. I've lived in over 100 places around the world, but that house, that museum was the one constant in my life. I wasn't consulted, I wasn't involved, and for years now I've often been misunderstood, called things like narcissistic or attention-seeking, but that's never been who I am. I don't want to be famous. I want to help people. I want to honor the responsibility my grandparents entrusted to all of us to protect the living, respect the dead, and never turn the sacred work into a spectacle. I don't know what's to come, but I know I couldn't stay silent. This legacy matters. It's not a brand. It's not content. It's not entertainment. It's sacred. To those who reached out, tagged me, or simply taken a moment to listen, thank you. I see you, and I'll keep standing for what I believe in, even if I have to do it alone. With that being said, and like the statement that the grandson Chris had put out there, I found it very odd because if you truly feel like this is kind of disrespectful, you do not agree, has he already reached out to them personally instead of just putting this publicly out there? Even though he does not want any fame, he doesn't want to be in the public eye, then why would this be posted publicly for everyone to see? Like, if you go to his Facebook page, he has 35,000 followers. So like he definitely has some type of online presence. You know, if he had no presence online, he wouldn't have that many followers. But yeah, I just find it very interesting that he's trying to preserve the legacy of his grandparents, and it should not be in the publicity. But that's already what Ed and Lorraine Warren were already doing when they were here. Like they were always on talk shows, TV shows. Like they were always speaking about this at events, things like that. They were always very vocal about this work, you know. They had a book made, things like that. This was not private whatsoever. I truly am curious if he knew it was up for sale, if he knew that they were considering like selling it over to Elton Castee and Matt Rife. I wonder if he was interested. If he didn't want it to be a spectacle, why not just purchase it himself? You know, if you were truly worried about it. But it was already kind of like it was a museum, like it's a business, right? So like this was already out there. But yeah, please let me know your thoughts.
So this is editing Amethyst. I was in the middle of editing the video that you were about to see or you just saw, and I saw that Chris McKenna, aka the Warren's grandson, posted this on Facebook today, just like 2 hours ago, called Beyond Fear. I guess he is having like a Zoom call to talk about what's going on. He's having an event, like a public event, but it's just so confusing to me because if he doesn't want to be in the public eye, he doesn't want publicity, nothing like that, no fame, then why is there a Zoom meeting being held? This is what it says: Beyond Fear, Real Phenomena, Deeper Truths. With my grandparents' home and the Warren Occult Museum now in the hands of comedian Matt Rife and his partner, Elton Castee. Come on, like I don't understand why he's not mentioning Elton. I think it's very ironic that a lot of people keep mentioning that he's a comedian as if that's going to be the issue here. It's not the issue that he's a comedian. The issue is like I'm not gonna get into it. People deserve to know the truth, not the Hollywood version, not the hype, the real history, the real danger, and the real hope. On Sunday, August 24th at 6 p.m. New York time, I'm offering a live Zoom session, a deep dive into some of the most powerful and disturbing cases we've investigated from around the world and throughout my life. In this hour-and-a-half presentation with an additional hour for your questions, we'll explore what it was like growing up with Ed and Lorraine Warren, how they trained me, the truth behind Annabelle and the Conjuring film universe, cursed objects, hauntings, and real spiritual attacks, what cryptids actually are, psychic sensitivity, electromagnetic fields, and trauma, how culture shapes what we think of as supernatural, practical ways to protect yourself, and how to reclaim your personal power. If you've had your own experiences, if you're seeking answers, or if you're just ready to hear the truth, this is for you. Put your name and email in the link below. Sign up details will go out soon. Then he put the little link. This isn't entertainment, it's a wake up call. Hashtag Matt Rife, hashtag Ed and Lauren Warren, Chris McKenna, Warren Legacy Foundation, Annabelle, The Conjuring, Conjuring Universe, Haunted Museum, Paranormal Truth, Vera Farmiga, I don't know what that is, Patrick Wilson. So very interesting to me because if it's not supposed to be in the public eye or he doesn't think it should be out there like that, it shouldn't be for fame, it shouldn't be for this and that, then why is he hosting this event? You know? Like, shouldn't this be handled privately? Now he's gonna have a whole Zoom call meeting. I don't know. I just found that very weird, but I just wanted to mention that since I was editing and I just saw this go live.